Our whole system in America has been broken through corruption, through overspending, through failed policies, and failed principles. We have abandoned everything that made us great. So how do we get back to being great again? Somebody asked me over a year and a half ago, Glenn, how do we get out of it? Where do we go? This has taken me over a year to put together. It's called Broke. Our nation is broken. And there are no easy answers. None. If you look at this up here, what is this? Do you even recognize what this is? Which districts are these? Well, they're not districts, actually. They're not districts. If you put them back together, you'll see that it's not a district. You just don't recognize it anymore. That's the real problem here. How do we even put it back together? How do we even put it back together? That's the real trick. It ain't easy. Yeah, go ahead, laugh all you want. It ain't easy. We have to put it together. Our finances are broken. Our spirit is broken. Our faith and our values are broken. And promises have been broken. I have to tell you, it's going to hurt to put it all together. It is. It's going to take a while, and it's going to hurt every single one of us. But in the long term, if we do the right things, we'll be better off for it. We've turned our backs on the Constitution. We've gone for the easy thing. Our country is broken financially. It is broken in spirit, broken in faith, broken in values. And you know it. We're now at a crucial point of reassembling the country. The first part of this book, the first third of this book is, how did we get here? The second part is the crime of the century and the cover-up. The cover-up will blow your mind. If you read Common Sense, this is Common Sense on steroids. And then the last is, what do we do about it? How do we fix it? What's the plan? We need drastic fixes. We need to amend the Constitution if necessary, and I don't like that idea, but I think it's necessary. We need a balanced budget amendment, one with teeth. For instance, I recommend in the book, spending cannot be higher than the prior year's amount. At the end of the fiscal year, if the budget still isn't balanced, the difference would be cut from the budget of the next fiscal year. Federal expenses cannot be pushed onto the states. We need to make serious budget cuts. Do you know that George Washington only had 4 cabinet departments? Today we have 15. Earlier on this program, earlier this year, we worked with experts to cut the budget by 24% in a week. We did it. The Department of Education, you know that 81% of state aid, 81% of all of the budget goes to state aid? The Energy Department, 47% of all of its budget, 47, almost half, is dedicated to departmental purchases. What are you buying? There's so much more in the book. Tough solutions, things that you won't like. But this is the thing that I have put together because you asked me to do it. What is the answer, Glenn? Restore our truth, our trust, and our treasure. There are simple things that we can do. There are common sense things that we can do. And one of the things that I address is the obscene amount of money that we are paying our politicians in Washington. I want to show you. This is the average guy in the U.S. Army. In the Army, they serve for 4 years. They get out with a specialist. As a specialist, they make $22,676. 4 years. Pick up a gun and go stand in the line of fire because your country asks you to for $22,676. They ain't doing it for money. The average American makes $50,462. That's your salary. The average American, $50,000. Now here's where it gets good. The average salary of a federal employee, you know, the ones who can never get the paperwork right. the average person serving in Congress. Remember, they use that word. They don't have a job. They're serving in Congress. This is their master. This is the defender of what they're serving, the ideas of the Constitution. This is the guardian that protects them as they're supposedly protecting the Constitution. This is their master, we the people. How much are they serving? How much do they get paid in the service? This, by the way, is not an average salary. This is what they all get. This is the basic salary. $174,000. Which one is the master and which one is the servant? Which one has the most to be grateful for and yet doesn't seem to be? It goes back to the idea of cleaning out the stuff in our life. Maybe it's that they have too much. I want to show you some of our congressional leaders. And this happens on both sides. Harry Reid. Harry Reid was elected to the Senate in 1986 for serving 4 years in the House. When he entered the Senate, he was worth, and believe me, I'm a capitalist. I don't care how much you're worth. More the merrier, brother. He was worth 1.8 when he entered the Senate. How much was he worth 2 years ago? How's your 401k doing? Nancy Pelosi. She was elected to Congress in 1987. 2 years later, her estimated worth was $7.5 million. Today, $21.7 million. How is it that these people are getting rich? How is it? How is it a guy who served honorably? This guy served honorably. When he was in service of his country, he served honorably. How did he leave the service making this kind of wage and go right directly to Congress, and now he can afford a vacation home that he doesn't even pay taxes on? How did that happen? How did that happen? We have to cut our budgets. We have to. Here's what I'd like to propose, and I would like to ask you to take this on. You make the difference. These guys in Washington could not say no. They couldn't say no to this. Congressman, here it is, Congressmen shall not be paid more than those who are currently serving on the front line of duty. They shall never make more than that. There's no reason why congressmen should be able to enrich themselves, make more than a guy who is on the front lines fighting, somebody who's in a tank right now, somebody else who's risking his life to save a child in another country. Are you kidding me? There is no justification for congressional salaries. None. Demand Congress lower their salaries and their benefits to the same benefits offered to our soldiers, period. I'm going to take it a step further. Federal employees should not be allowed to ever make more than this. Ever. Last year, the average household income, $49,000. It's up to $50,000 now. You know what? Congress should only get raises, and people in the federal government should only get raises if the citizens get raises. Members of Congress should never make more than the people who die on our battlefields. Congress, I know you've got a lot of special perks. Your medical care should be exactly the same that the VA hospital gives out. You are in the service of your country. If you don't like it, then maybe you should offer benefits that are a little better at the VA hospitals. Oh, and there's one more thing. They're not going to like it because they have to keep 2 homes. Oh, Congress, I've got that solved for you. I'm more than happy, and I know people, maybe Habitat for Humanity will come and help build barracks for you to live in. Those are some of the solutions. Next, how to survive the storm in the meantime.